from Sacred Heart University in Fairfield, Connecticut. This is The Pulse.
Hello, and welcome to The Pulse. I'm Kristen Burnell.
And I'm John J. Mudgett. We have a great show for you today. Undergraduate students return to campus this month, and the semester is packed full of virtual events, spring sports, performing arts, and SEC Club events will host their activities on a live stream. For more on this and how to participate, check out the Sacred Heart University full events calendar.
Many young adults are given opportunities to continue their education at universities or enter the workforce after high school. But people with disabilities often are left behind after the age of 21 without a clear path for their future. One organization in Fairfield is trying to change this. Claire Seacrest reports.
A lot of treats to package.
When Harry Fisk graduated high school, he wondered what the future for someone like him would be. He found a future here at a pet store. To some, this store in downtown Fairfield is just like any other. But once inside, this pet store offers much more than just pet supplies.
It fills a void that would be there if our young adults had to rely solely on, what the government provides.
Wolfgang & Co. is a nonprofit organization driven to help young adults with disabilities and give them an opportunity to succeed in the workforce. Co-founder Kelly Muffet is passionate about providing these young adults with a chance.
This gives them a chance to be a real, vibrant part and get a true sense of what it's like to work a business.
The volunteer-based program gives these young adults a place to learn and develop their work skills through making and baking dog treats, selling t-shirts, masks, blankets, and more. Harry Fisk has been working for Wolfgang since 2017. He is grateful for the experience.
It's a great organization, it's a great business, and it gives me work experience. It gives me something to do rather than just be at home all day.
Many young adults with disabilities like Harry struggle with finding suitable jobs after finishing their education. Team Wolfgang allows them to grow and learn in a welcoming work environment.
I feel like Wolfgang, I'm in the work safe haven. I feel like this is home to me because I know a lot of my friends, a lot of my friends a lot of people who I get along with are also part of this organization.
An organization that was founded out of love and care for these young adults. Kelly is hopeful Wolfgang will show people how capable these young adults are.
We really believe in these young adults. They're fully capable, and I think it's just such a great opportunity for them to blend in with, Main Street USA.
Keep going.
Wolfgang may teach these young adults lifelong skills, but Kelly says the young adults have brought her one thing she can't teach.
All of these kids have taught me the meaning of pure love.
From Fairfield, Connecticut, this is Claire Seacrest.
There's no question that love can take on many forms. But what impact has COVID-19 had on finding romantic love? I spoke with one couple who were able to find love during the pandemic right from home.
Hey Jake, this is Cameron with Maxim Healthcare. How are you?
Working from home, a concept that many of us have become far too familiar with in 2020. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, millions of people around the world have been forced to adapt to doing everything from work to school to even dating from home. That's right, even dating. And according to data company Apptopia, the top 20 dating apps gained 1.5 million daily active users in 2020. I spoke with Connecticut residents and newly formed couple Lauren Bell and Cameron McCleary to get some inside scoop on the realities of finding love during a pandemic.
I didn't have many concerns, but starting off in previous relationships, obviously the first, couple weeks to a month is the time where you really get to know somebody, and it's hard not to do that kind of in person just a little bit.
Yeah, I think just not physically being there with them is harder, and just, I think, missing them. It's just not, I don't know, it's not as personal. I think it gets a little lonely.
Having began their relationship from different states during a pandemic, here's what Cam and Lauren had to say when asked how the dynamic between the two of them changed once they were physically together.
I mean, obviously physicality and being physical with somebody is a big part of a relationship. So when you don't have that, then you're kind of left guessing a little bit because you don't know what's going to happen and how you guys are connect physically. So That was probably, I think, the biggest dynamic change.
I think it's just the level of comfort changes. Once you're actually with the person, you realize how much you actually trust them and feel comfortable with them.
But I don't know, like it's obviously, it was a really strong kind of connection when I got here and it was in person, because there was so much kind of over text and through calls and FaceTimes. So it was just kind of putting the pieces together and just like seeing how well they matched, honestly. And I think they have matched pretty well in the past like month. So.
I'm just gonna
Despite their sense of humor surrounding how their relationship began, Cam and Lauren do seem to be a good match, as they will be celebrating their official 1-month anniversary in just a few days. Reporting for The Pulse at Sacred Heart University, I am John J. Mudgett.
You know, fun fact about Cam and Lauren, I was actually the one who introduced them, so I am also hoping that this goes very well for them.
Oh, no way. That's so awesome. I hope so as well.
Yeah. When we come back, we will take a look into how marching bands went digital and how COVID-19 has affected performing arts and retail workers.
Sacred Heart held a virtual memorial service today to honor all the people who have passed away in Connecticut from complications of COVID-19. The service included the names of friends and family members of the SHU community. As of last Monday, COVID-19 cases in the state reached over 260,000 cases, with over 7,000 deaths. Even with the vaccine rollout, officials continue to remind everyone to wear a mask, social distance, and be safe.
Despite the difficulties of the past year, marching bands found a way to continue their passion virtually, and 7 members of the Sacred Heart University Band were given the opportunity to play in an intercollegiate marching band, which was featured in the College Football National Championship. Daniel Wood reports.
Over 1,500 band students across the country sent in videos of their performance of End of Time by Beyoncé for the College Football Championship halftime show. Stephanie Pixley was one of the 7 chosen for the opportunity.
So when I got the email, I gotta say I was really surprised. I didn't really know much about it until I started reading into it. And when I figured out what it was, I was really excited.
The performance gave those students a chance to be involved in a new way of doing marching band, which could work with COVID restrictions and allow students to play with people they normally would not.
It was a really cool experience, and just the idea of being able to play with people from all over the country in these like crazy bands was just kind of really fascinating to me because it had never been done before.
The band show was streamed during the College Football Championship and had millions tuning in to watch the Ohio State Buckeyes and Alabama Crimson Tide. Among those viewers was Sacred Heart Band's drum major, Kaylee Donahue, who was looking for her friends during the halftime show.
It was really amazing to see that they were able to bring a show together in such a short amount of time and with so many different people involved. It looked amazing, it sounded amazing. I was really excited to be able to watch it. And I like to have a little scavenger hunt to try and find my friends from Sacred Heart throughout the performers.
The idea came from the president of College Band Directors National Association, Mark Speed, back in October and approached the NCAA, who approved. Sacred Heart Band Director Keith Johnston was sent the idea just a few weeks after the idea was thought of.
They shipped it out to all the band directors and said, what do you think of this? Is this something we'd want to do? And I said, absolutely.
The opportunity came during what would normally be the band's marching and pep band season, which was put on hold due to COVID restrictions.
I feel so badly for our current band members who their entire year is just kind of shot. So at least this gave a number of people an opportunity to get together and to do some kind of performance.
There was opportunities for some to work on the band's media. Maeve St. Ange not only performed, but also ended up running a subcommittee for social media.
It was incredible. Like, honestly, I think it was probably one of the coolest things I've ever done.
Maeve ran a team of 5 who assisted in getting information and making graphics. They had to make around 800 posts.
So it was a lot of work. We had to get it done very, very quickly because we only had like 50 days maybe to post all of these things. And like when we started, like we were already getting behind.
Though the idea came up as a way of working around COVID, there are hopes for the Intercollegiate Marching Band to continue in some way in the future.
I really hope that they do continue to do this, whether it is virtual or if they can find a way to get us to meet up. I think that would be a really great experience for all of the members.
So in all honesty, I think knowing that we have the ability to do this could allow us to branch out more in the future and possibly change the way we do some marching band things in the future.
Musicians have not been able to have live performances, but with an opportunity like this, they can continue to perform and could open the door for new opportunities. This has been Daniel Wood reporting for The Pulse.
More than 150 art organizations in the state will benefit with $9 million in federal grants from the COVID-19 Relief Fund. Marika Huarenga has the story.
The state of Connecticut announced that art organizations will receive help from the state's COVID relief fund. The financial assistance is aimed to ease the economic struggles that these organizations have experienced due to the pandemic.
Right now, the performing arts venues are really struggling to try to figure out when they have the green light to be able to book shows and events and singers.
The funding is administered by the Connecticut Department of Economic and Community Development, which is trying to bring back to the new normal the 57,000 jobs that our venues create in the state, resulting in $4 million to the state's financial recovery.
The grants that we've announced, the governor and I, were received by more than 154 state arts groups, and it's in the amount of $9 million, and those funds come from the CARES Act.
According to a study by Johns Hopkins University, the art venues in Connecticut have seen a loss of $2.4 billion in revenue in 2020, and 56% of professionals in this category are unemployed.
The whole hospitality adjacent industries, hotels, restaurants, arts and culture, all of the hospitality are the most severe impacted by COVID.
The lieutenant governor says that community support has been essential in helping art venues to remain open during the pandemic.
Art organizations that receive funding were able to raise over $34 million in donations.
But if the reopening doesn't happen fast enough, these organizations are at risk to close and go out of business.
Right now, because of the mutation, because our numbers are still going up, we know that there is no discussion right now of reopening.
The pandemic has gone beyond hurting nonprofits and art organizations. It has also come between the in-person expressions of artists addressing social justice issues with audiences.
Political issues, the racial issues, the social justice issues. Artists are the ones who put what is going on in the world on the stage.
Despite the challenges, Wendy sees the future with hope.
The arts are so incredibly resilient, and they are using their creativity to make sure they sustain, recover, and once again thrive.
Wendy says that the big wave of art venue closings have not been seen yet, and although the $9 million is appreciated, it won't help resolve the billions of losses these organizations are facing. For The Pulse, Marika Huarenga.
Medical professionals are not the only ones feeling overwhelmed and overworked during the pandemic. Due to long hours and having to enforce COVID-19 related store policies, retail workers are also feeling the strain. Brittany Moore has more on this story.
Working during the pandemic has caused some people to wonder who would be an essential worker, and not few are asking how the people working in retail are holding up. This past holiday season was like no other. There were many changes to Christmas shopping, causing tremendous strain on retail workers.
Something truly special in the sense of seeing how big things impact the general public and how the general public responds to these things.
Some customers refuse to follow protocols and think they are above wearing a mask and sanitizing your hands when entering a store. At this Bath & Body Works, for example, employees are having to remind shoppers to do so.
Being such as like not wearing masks and not wanting to wash their hands and not wanting to use hand sanitizer, because that for our store is a protocol that if you come in, we ask that you use hand sanitizer or you wash your hands in order to be in our store.
Not only has working in this environment been difficult, but the amount of people coming in to shop versus online shopping has dropped drastically. Many people don't want to leave their house and only do so when needed.
Before the pandemic, people were very entitled, but once the pandemic hit, they definitely escalated in that entitlement. I'm not sure if it has anything to do with the stress of everything that's going on and them feeling like they came out in this pandemic to get what they wanted, that they should just be catered to in the way that they would like to be. But I definitely have received a lot more attitude and a lot more entitlement from customers since the start of this pandemic.
Shopping at Bath & Body Works is not a necessity. Shoppers can buy body care items at any grocery store or shop online. However, if you are coming in to buy the scent that you love, retail workers ask that you treat them the way you want to be treated. Nearly 2 million retail workers have lost their jobs since the pandemic started, along with permanent store closures and dozens of retailers facing bankruptcy, with some already filing. With the vaccine being distributed, is there a new normal in the future for those who work in customer service? That remains to be seen. Reporting from Fairfield, Connecticut, this is Brittany.
Stick around after the break for a place in Westport you will want to visit.
The next 4 years will educate your mind, body, and spirit. Will challenge you. Will introduce you to yourself. They'll show you the world and expand your horizons. Redefine your notion of community and make your family a whole lot bigger. They'll push you to your limits and then show you that that was just your starting line. They'll teach you the meaning of service, that we are because of who we all are. These next 4 years are your time. Welcome to Sacred Heart. Welcome to your future.
Welcome back. Now let's look at a plant nursery in Westport that brings together the idea of house and garden to create an experience for all of the senses. Raneem Al-Jabri reports.
Cafes are among the most popular meeting places for all segments of society. There is no doubt that decor is important to attract customers' attention and keep them lingering. The cafe's distinctive design complements the flavor of the coffee and the various food dishes. What the eye sees, the mouth tastes. The interior and exterior design of a Train Cafe combines elements of rustic charm and modern elegance to create an enjoyable experience and a natural environment for customers to celebrate their special occasions. A Train Cafe grew naturally from a small cafe serving coffees and small bites to a full-service restaurant serving a breakfast, a brunch, and dinner. There is a fruit bouquet of coffee that changes according to the season. Currently, they use counterculture coffee. 95% of their product is organic. The coffee they brew is called Romero from Rwanda in Africa. It has a tasting notes of a plum. It's very mild up to the light, so it's going to have a very fruity and acidic finish. Some of the most popular coffee drinks ordered by customers are peppermint white mocha latte, toasted marshmallow mocha, hot chocolate, and cappuccino. The seasonally changing breakfast, lunch, and dinner menus depend on local products as most of the ingredients are sourced from their farms. They use delicious vegetables and fruits in several different ways of cooking and combining them with whatever the season provides.
Terrain has been really good. Our server was very attentive and he was checking in on us, making sure that we have everything that we need. The food is also really good. I love the French fries, so I would definitely recommend it.
The third section of Terrain specializes in selling natural products for body care and home decorations with wooden handicrafts. They also sell different indoor and outdoor plants, garden accessories, and they offer customers complete information on the plants before they buy it.
This is their shade greenhouse, and it acts a little bit like a nursery, although they actually do buy plants and they have some here. I don't think they grow any of their own plants. This is a cultivated variety, I'm not sure which one. Some maidenhair ferns, some ficus right here, and some Jeportias. So this was formerly known as Calathea zebrina, but I think now this is called Jeportia zebrina. Very beautiful velvety leaves.
And since the Terrain Garden Cafe contains a lush botanical environment with ever-changing greenery, it creates a luxurious backdrop for special occasions.
I love coming to grab a cup of coffee with a friend and to catch up and have fun, maybe even read a book. I also think Terrain is a great place to have an event, maybe even a small birthday party with friends, or maybe even a wedding outside in the summertime. The service is great. They're very attentive and kind and thoughtful and are always there to answer your questions about plants or food, any questions you have. So yeah, I would recommend Terrain.
A visit to the Terrain Cafe is a truly unique experience. Reporting for The Pulse, Raneem Al-Jabri, Westport, Connecticut.
Now that is definitely a place that I want to have brunch this weekend.
I will definitely be meeting you there.
Sounds good. Well, that's all we have for today. Thank you for joining us.
We hope you enjoyed the show, and we'll see you next time on The Pulse.